Stephen King's expansive universe of novels have various levels of connective tissue. For years, fans have scoured each story to find how they connect to one another. The popular Dark Tower series of books is very central to King's universe, and has shown up or been referenced in other popular books like Stephen King's It. In this video, we'll explore a character named Dandelo and his connections to Pennywise. The shape-shifting creature known as It hails from the Macroverse and refers to itself as the Eater of Worlds. Its favorite form to take on is that of Pennywise the Dancing Clown. In the story It, a group of kids in Derry, Maine form the Losers Club after encountering this horrific clown in different instances. Eventually they learn more about it and its habits and are able to defeat the creature once and for all, 27 years after their initial introductions. In the Dark Tower series, the character called Dandelo, who initially introduces himself to Roland and Susanna as Joe Collins, is a creature that feeds on emotions, kind of like a psychic vampire. This is very similar to Pennywise, who feeds on fear, most notably that of children. Dandelo, however, feeds on laughter as a response to his comedic stylings, posing as a former stand-up comedian hailing from the United States. Dandelo also had an incredibly old and diseased horse named Lippy, which he kept by the side of his creepy house. For years he held a powerful artist able to bend reality named Patrick Danville in his basement and routinely fed on his emotions, until one day Roland and Susanna were able to rescue him and kill Dandelo. After dealing with him, Roland put his horse Lippy out of its misery, but later on his demonic offspring named Mordred Deshane consumed its remains and became poisoned as a result. What's interesting about this character and Pennywise are their connections that fans have discovered after rereading their respective material. Both characters feed on emotions and are able to manipulate the proportions of the space that they occupy. For instance, Pennywise is able to manipulate the Neibolt house, and Dandelo is able to manipulate his house on Odd Lane, which is an anagram for his name, Dandelo. In the Dark Tower, Susanna is able to find out Dandelo's weakness by figuring out that the creature has to follow a specific set of rules. This is similar to It when Pennywise takes on the form of a character such as a werewolf, he's still weak to silver. Stephen King has come out and said that Dandelo and It are not one and the same like many had theorized, but that both come from the same species. In the novel It, towards the end it's mentioned that Pennywise has laid eggs beneath Derry, and fans have speculated that since Derry acts like a portal to the Dark Tower, that it's possible one of these eggs hatched and the creature made its way to Empathica, which means that Dandelo could in fact be an offspring of Pennywise. This is backed up by the fact that Pennywise has made some canon appearances after his supposed defeat in the novel It, in other novels like the Tommyknockers and Dreamcatcher. Perhaps they're both creatures that come from the Toadash space, who both serve the Red and the Crimson King. But what do you guys think about this? Could Dandelo be the offspring of Pennywise, or are they simply from the same species, making them distant relatives of sorts? Right now, Amazon is currently developing a high-budget series rebooting the Dark Tower, so it should be interesting to see if Dandelo would appear, and how much of the series will link to other stories like It. As always, thank you guys again for watching, and for all things Stephen King and the latest in pop culture, subscribe to HN Entertainment.